This is going good.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Plough Lane Live after a pretty shocking 2-0 defeat to Chesterfield. I always get that team name wrong. I'm joined to my left by George Brown, to my left by George Jones, to my right by George Brown, and then to my far right by Rob Boyce. I don't know really where to start, but
we never got going, did we? Really, we never moved the ball. They were second to every ball. We weren't up for it today. Really, we looked very lethargic. We just didn't scrap, and they got what they deserved. I don't think you could argue that. And do you know what? They were quite a solid side. Their two centre backs just absolutely managed the game really well, and I think we could still be out there now. We probably wouldn't have scored. So the right result.
You know what? We did have two glorious chances though. If Pell gets on the end of one of them two, especially the second one where he puts it over the bar, that goes in. The crowd go up for the game. 1-0 goals change games. I'm not disputing the fact we deserve to go out of the cup today, in my opinion. I think Chesterfield on their day were good value for money, were better side, but like I said, it's a results business, not necessarily always down to how you play. And had that goal got in, like I said, we might have still been in the hat for the second, the third round draw, or come away with a 1-0 draw. But unfortunately, Chesterfield saw us off with a bit of an odd goal, to be honest with you, coming from the winger. Yeah, I don't know if it was a cross. I didn't know if the player meant it.
It was a cross. It was Hunt. There's no way he's meant that.
Yeah.
In National League level, there's no way.
One thing I thought massively was the substitutions and the lack of and the time of them. George, what are your kind of...
I thought Huss came on and I thought played very well, coming on a right back after 55 minutes, an hour sort of time. I thought he had a very good game. Alfie struggled to influence it much when he came on for Paris, and Courtney Senior was a pointless sub. With 10 minutes left, he didn't change the game at all. And when you look, we had Dad Fisher on the bench, we had Wayne Bartley on the bench. I don't think you can lose a cup game at home in this manner that we were losing it and not make more subs, and try and change the game, try and change the shape.
Just
try something to make
would you have done? Would you have brought Wayne Bartley on? Would you have brought Dad? I think Dad Fisher for me. I don't think Wayne Bartley gets on in my eyes. No. I think who'd you replace him with? I think him. I'd rather have a tired Davison than.
Yeah, but I'd have probably changed shape and gone 3-5-2. Or 3-4-3. Some sort of change in shape to try and give you something, because the shape we tried, the 4-2-3-1, wasn't working. So I think at that point you've just got to roll the dice and keep rolling it, and eventually something will click, something will begin to work.
I think we were just very sloppy today. Yeah. We were misplacing 5-yard passes. Nothing was going to feet. It didn't click today, and that happens sometimes. And I think the bigger problem that I have is is there an identity about us at the moment? I know we've gone on this long unbeaten run, but sometimes when we're not in games, we just look completely lost. Like the front three today, it didn't click for them, and that's fine. But at least win second balls, at least make things happen. You've got to make your own luck. And I was disappointed today in the sort of manner of the defeat. I know we had two chances, but one was a free kick, and the other, to be fair, Huspila did really well to get the ball into the box. But on the whole, I think we've got to be better.
I think one of the problems today is our squad is just not good enough in terms of squad depth. If you look at Chesterfield's squad, they brought on Tishmingo off the bench, and we don't have that kind of option. I agree with George that we should have went for a 3-5-2, especially second half, because I felt like we were getting quite a lot of luck down the flanks. If you look at our two chances, they come from wide areas. Yeah. When we were trying to play through the middle with Paris Magoma or Woodyard, Pell, it just was not working at all. Like George said, that we just couldn't seem to find each other's feet from 5-10 yards passes. I think we should have just got the ball wide and got it into the box as much as possible. So I do feel like we should have changed shape a bit earlier on and gone for a 3-5-2, and that should have been our plan B today, but we didn't go for it.
Just seen a comment there from Simon Wheeler. Obviously everyone on Facebook and YouTube, do get your comments in and tell us your thoughts on the game today. A bad day at the office, early season errors creeping back in, but we shouldn't forget the good run and must put it behind us quickly. Struggling to read then, because I was trying to read the top and the bottom.
What?
I'd agree. I think it was that kind of spell when we went from after that Gillingham first game where we just seemed to struggle and draw and lose. I think I saw elements of that again coming back into the side. And maybe it's because they didn't play together last game and they've had a week off and not had that fluidity. But
I'm not sure about that. I think we were fresh. I just think it wasn't our day. I don't think anything clicked, and I think it showed that how far being solid can get you in the National League, League Two, and the Cup. Chesterfield weren't. I expected them to be actually better on the ball than they were. I don't think they were anything that impressive, but they were solid. They didn't give us many chances. I know we had two, but they weren't very good on the whole. As in, they were just solid. They did their jobs,
Yep.
and they got on with the game. And I think the first goal was, in my opinion, big mistake from Isaac. He's young, he's got to learn, but you've either got to properly win that free kick, or you see the ball out, you do one or two. And I think he's sort of been caught there. And I just think little mistakes that, as you guys said, that were crept in early season is kind of similar. Like, we don't concede that goal at Tranmere, but today clearly they just weren't at it, and we concede that goal.
You know what? Following on from Simon's comment, I don't think we need to knee-jerk or panic too much. I know what social media is like nowadays, and I'm sure there'll be an overreaction from the fact that, you know, we went out in the cup to a team in the non-league. By the end of the day, look, the 10-game unbeaten run we've been on had to come to an end at some point. Obviously, it's disappointing it's come to an end today, you know, in the manner it has. But look, it's FA Cup football. It's what happens, you know. And like I said, we said before in the pre-match show, Chesterfield ain't going to be no pushovers. They're third in the National League for a reason. They're 7-8 games undefeated. They've scored in every single game they've played in this season. So I'm not surprised to see that, you know, like I said, Chesterfield have got themselves into the next round of the hat.
But the thing is that we've mentioned something on a few pre- and post-match shows before where we've not actually looked that convincing. We were 10 games unbeaten, but I wouldn't say there's, apart from Orient obviously, there's like Salford away was a horrendous game. Sutton in midweek in the Pizza Cup, that wasn't a good performance by any stretch of the imagination. It was, you know, got a good goal because Curry worked some magic and had Van Hudlin, but apart from that, nothing really happened.
I think we need to work on how creative we can be on the ball, on opening up defences, and we've got players like Ayub who can do it on their own, but it needs to be more of a team. The ball needs to move quicker. I think we can be slow moving the ball. I think as a team we've just got to be better unlocking defences, and that's got to come from JJ implementing what we do when we are, you know, when we have got a bit of dominance. Then how do we break a team down?
And I would say, sorry Rob, that it is I agree with what you said, Tom. We've had probably in that 10-game run, we've only had one game where we've been by far the better team and deserved the win. The other games have been scrappy, or we've got a bit of luck, or whatever it is. But that Orient game's the only one. So I think I disagree with people saying we have to move on from this quickly and focus on the 10-game winning or unbeaten run, because that's the anomaly in our pattern this year, that 10 game, not what we've seen everything else.
Yeah, sorry to jump over anyone, but we are got some shots there of our Budweiser fan zone, which has been done for the England games, and the man of the match presentation will be hosted there today. And yeah, just nice to see it all decked out. I think it's an area of the club you don't really see too much. It's kind of hidden away on that second floor. And there's, you know, live football on.
It looked good last night. If anyone follows them on Twitter, it looked really good last night for the England game. So I'm sure when, you know, Gareth Southgate draws 0-0 to Wales, it'll be packed, and we'll be thankful that we come second in a really tough group. No, but I think I do agree slightly with what George says. We can't just completely ignore this performance. But Grimsby be next Saturday. If we can get a win, if we can perform better, then you go right. Okay, this is the league. We've got to be good in the league. We've got to do well. So it's more about, I think this season's always about the league. You know, if we could have done something in the cup, that's great, but we didn't. So now it's just about, can we put ourselves in a position in January to challenge for the playoffs? It's one game at a time.
I think exploring the afterlife was spot on with regarding better team won today. You know, can't dispute that on their day. Like I said, Chesterfield's, you know, were just better than us. I think the big thing for me, I might be repeating myself a little bit here, is we just lack squad depth. You know, we've had a lot of fixtures in this 10-game unbeaten run, and I feel like today we just ran out of steam. You know, we talked about the substitutions, and you look at the bench, and you know, we brought on Billa, who's a youngster. We brought on Bendel, who's a youngster. Courtney Senior, who, you know, is finding his feet back in the Football League after having about 18-month injury from an ACL. We don't have a lot of squad depth. We don't have forward options on the bench, especially with Hudlin not being allowed to play. And I think that's the big thing. I think, you know, come January, if we are to push on and kick on this season, I think we need to back JJ in the window and, you know, do a bit of business. Like I said, I think maybe seeing Zach Robinson on the bench, we've spoken about it before, would be a big benefit for us, you know, because he's got that experience up in Scotland now.
Absolutely. And the Zach Robinson question is one that is, you know, going around the fan base I think every day on the Facebook groups, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what does happen in January. I don't know if you can hear us there, but I think Mbappe may have just scored, so there's your live update for the World Cup. There's a comment there, interesting one from Dan Jones, who's a Chesterfield fan. If you can hear us over the World Cup commentary, coming from a Chesterfield fan, this just shows we can compete in the Football League. We just need to get out of non-league. Good luck for the rest of the season.
I agree. I think if they were in League 2, they'd probably be sitting in 10th, and they'd have us till the playoffs, definitely. Same as Wrexham, same as Notts County. If you can hear me, the quality of the National League's really there. and they're confident. I think we didn't back ourselves today. I think we didn't look very, we didn't go for us first half, and then I think we never really came out like we did against Weymouth and sort of changed the game. I know it's different quality of side.
I agree with Dan Jones. If they get into the Football League, they'll be fine. The thing is getting out of the National League. Especially with Notts County and Wrexham in there, it's going to be very tough for them to get out. Probably have to rely on the playoffs, I would imagine.
Yeah, but that's the, when they do get out of that league, because I think it is a will. It might take them a couple of years because it is a very difficult league to get out of. But what we saw from them today, if that's their usual levels, they're easily a top half of League Two side, and like you said, maybe getting around the playoffs. So yeah, they'll have no trouble in League Two when they get back in.
But that just shows, when teams come up from League Two, National League, they are going to be quality. It's not like League One. If you come up into League One, you're likely to go back down. National League side like Sutton came up in the first season, they 3 points off the playoffs. So when teams come up from League Two, they are going to be good. And top National League sides, they've got strike like that. Quigley today, I thought that Quigley was very good. I thought he did well. I thought he won his fair share of headers, and he really linked up the side well. I think Josh does that for us as well, but it just shows that National League is really a force to be reckoned with. The top of the National League is definitely better than the bottom of League Two. They batter teams like Hartlepool and Harrogate every week.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I think that shows the kind of depth now of English football as well. I think of a wider picture, it does show how strong now English football is getting, where you've got, what's that, 5 divisions of football.
It's effectively the fifth
standard,
tier. Yeah, so it's effectively the fifth tier of football. You could argue it could be another football league.
League 3 almost, it has that kind of quality, especially with most players being professional. Comment there from Rich Burville. Important to put this behind us fast. We cannot afford to go into yet another bad run. It was an absolute nothing performance against a team that were better all over the pitch and wanted it more than us, which in my mind is unacceptable. I have to agree. I think when the subs came on, they didn't get into the game very quickly, apart from Hussein Bilal, who was very good when he came on. I think Bendel really struggled today. I don't know what is going to be the best solution for him really. I don't know whether we send him out on loan in January for the rest of the season.
That's what JJ was saying to London News Online. He's going to go out probably on loan in January when the window reopens.
I think he needs it. Just give him consistent football in a consistent position instead of bringing him on in games where he has to try and change.
The thing is as well, by then we'll know. Obviously we've gone out the FA Cup today, but we would know where we are with the Pizza Trophy as well if we're in the next round or not. I mean,
Plymouth away is not a tie we needed. Sorry.
No, but with players like Bendel and Broom, for example, for they're most likely playing cup games. We might be out of both cups come January, so it makes sense to wait till then. And if we are
Escalainen fit as well.
What's that?
If Will Escalainen comes back fit, he can be on the bench. Then Broom can get some experience. Because I think Broom he's shown elements of being a very good goalkeeper. I think his distribution was very quick. He got the ball, got it out straight away. And I think again, young players need experience at the level. Sorry, I think just see videos there. Josh Davison in the fan zone. If anyone does want to head up to the Silver Lounge, there is access to everyone who wants to go and watch the man.
I was just going to say, I think today was the first time in a while we've been out 4. I thought at Tranmere at least we battled, or we battled, and today, quite frankly, we didn't battle, and they did. And I think that's the frustrating thing with Wimbledon fans. I know we do expect a lot, but we don't. I just want 50-50s to be won. That's mine, and we just weren't at it today. And we'll have those days. We forget we're still a very young team, so we'll have those days. So we didn't battle. That's just disappointing, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's it. I think that performance was very much the same as what we had in the Weymouth away game, where we just weren't quite there. We didn't battle. We didn't click. The difference there was Chesterfield had a bit of quality, which Weymouth didn't have, and were able to punish us for mistakes. So I think it's the fair result to them. It's the lack of fight, the lack of spirit that's disappointing.
I think I'd like to see Billa start against Grimsby. I know that's a week away, but I really think Isaac. I know probably worst performance in Wimbledon shirt. I don't want to dig him out, but he's done pretty well up until now. But and I think Billa's really deserves. He deserves. I know we might have Guntz back, but I'd like to see Billa being given maybe 90 minutes.
Yeah, the last show we done against Sutton on Tuesday night, he was one I picked out for me. He was the best player on the pitch that night, and one I want to see more of. So I do hopefully look forward to seeing Billa more in the Wimbledon shirt moving forward.
I think he's such an easy player to get behind, isn't he? He runs. His first touch on today was just get forward, and that's really exciting to see. When we're not playing well, a player like that.
Just going on that, he wants to go forward. He wants to put a positive performance in. Where some players will get the ball, I mean, Woodjob was guilty of it today a lot, and then just go backwards, and we're 2-0 down in the FA Cup to a team in the division below us. It's just like, go forward, show the qualities you have.
I do feel like it would be interesting if Villa played right wing back and Curry left wing back, because you know, I think we all agree that the plan with Chris Gunter is to play him right centre back off a back three, you know, not to play him as a right wing back. So I feel like with his legs and his enthusiasm to get up and down the pitch, that could work, and it'll be interesting to see if that's something which JJ will revert or look back to, you know,
I'd actually
at some
argue
point.
that Chris Gunter doesn't start right centre back and a 5-back for me. When you look at the centre backs we've got, Pearce in the middle, Towell on the left, Pearce in the middle, and then Will when he's fit right centre back, or Callum Barry right centre back. I know he's left footed, but he can play off that position. And then you've got Luke Jenkins coming as well if need be, and then Curry and Belair left wing back, right wing back would be a great partnership going forward and getting that energy and pace going forward.
I think Paris needs a bit of a spell maybe on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with his attitude today. I thought before he got subbed, he was just walking, and I was disappointed when he came off that he didn't run off. And I know it's little things, I don't have to dig him out, but I was disappointed. I'd like to see, I know Alfie wasn't great today, but maybe Alfie start Saturday, or George Marsh.
I'd rather George Marsh.
I think players, I know Paris has got the quality, but if he's not performing like he is at the moment, he needs just a weekend out to watch from the sidelines, maybe get that fire back that he had right at the start of the
frustrating
season.
thing is there's clearly a player in there. There's clearly someone with ability and talent. I think there's a little bit of maybe an ego check, because he does look like he's not interested because he maybe thinks he's better than the club. Or I'm not saying that exactly what France have just conceded.
Denmark beat right, sorry.
I'm not saying necessarily it might be the case, but I think there's a case of he's come from a Premier League club to a League 2 club. I think he probably after that first game expected to maybe walk the rest of the season. I'm betting that, and it's not gone as a plan.
Similar to Henry Lawrence last year. Started really well and then sort of went nowhere. And I think Paris needs to, I think be dropped is the right word, just be dropped, have that, be named on the bench, have to warm up.
The thing is with Paris and Villa is they're young players, and Alfie Bindle, they're all young players who are kind of lacking consistency, I mean, George Jones, I was chatting to him before we went on there, and he wants Villa to start. But for me, Chris Gunter still starts just because you can't play Villa every single week. For me, Tom, you can't play these youngsters every single week.
I think he deserves to start next week.
But you've got to rotate these youngsters in and out, dip them in and out as a team. Same with Paris.
I agree. I think Villa deserves a start. I'm not saying he's better than Gunter. I think next week, after that 50 minutes, whatever he played, 40, 45, he was the best player on the pitch.
I'm just saying he can't play 30, 40 games a season.
I'm not saying he starts every game of the season, it was he starts next game.
I'll start him next game. But like the same with Paris, is we're playing him every single week and we forget he's a 19-year-old. And with these youngsters, they're not going to have form like every week in, week out.
It's like Rudoni when he first hit the scene, he was very healthy.
Exactly. When we got to Rudoni's second season here, and you're seeing it with Vassal at the moment as well. They've got better season on season. So
here we go, the commentary above us has been cut out, but I'm assuming that's because I think the man of the match presentations are beginning shortly, and we'll be live streaming that obviously from
I can see
our roaming cameraman downstairs, Stuart Deakins, going to get a good angle hopefully for us of that. Obviously man of the match was Paul Kalambai, to not ruin any surprises for anyone, but those on the ground would have heard the announcement earlier.
I was quite surprised.
I was surprised by that. There we go. Ivor's going to take over for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6'3". Right, 6'3". Probably obviously it was a bad day in the office for us today, but it's on the back of what's been a particularly good run. Is there anything you want to say to the fans?
I mean, yeah, I wanted to get to the third round, but unfortunately we couldn't, but there's still some positive, we're still seeing some being in the league, so we still got something to protect.
Absolutely. That's us finishing on today's game, alright? We're just going to talk about, last week up at training, we were superb. We beat Sutton during the week in a couple of jobs. I mean, there's a fantastic spirit in the game because I've seen that at close quarters. How far do you think this team's capable of going for?
I mean, like I said, there's still some being in the league, so we'll just have to get back next season against Spirit League and then carry on the same form and back Christmas and January and then on. So yeah.
Say it.
That's it.
You got somewhere to go?
Nah, it's just got to relax and recover and get ready to go on Saturday.
Absolutely. What's the mood like in the dressing room this afternoon?
The boys are disappointed, but we understand the 2 goals that are easily avoided, and if we got one back, I want to win a different game, but unfortunately, they're the best today.
That's a good way of putting it. I think we should give Chesterfield a round of applause. And we hope that they get a big draw, get back in the league, because there's a train strike today, they brought 600 fans, 700 fans down here, and that's quite an effort one way or another. So, Paul, onward to Christmas. You got anything special happening for Christmas?
Easy. Probably just chill with my family and yes, literally football. I want to think it's a special year, for me last year, and we went down, so I'm motivated to just take each step as it comes and hopefully by January next year.
And how much better do you think your game is now? Because obviously you come in doing really well. You really enjoying football under Johnny Jackson?
Yeah, I am enjoying football, and so is everyone else. It's all about the team. I mean, like the team spirit is what stops the result that counts, and as long as we keep that going, I think we'll be alright.
Nice stuff, Paul. One last thing. To me, the best time we've had here at this football club for a long time was the night we beat Orient. Was everyone here for that one? Enjoy that? Paul, you loved that game, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll be waiting. I'll be looking forward to playing, to be fair. I was saying really hard and I couldn't wait to play and to get used to it against them, just shows what we can do. And I feel like since then it kicks on and that team spirit still is there. Just got to do better against Rinsby and keep the 6 game unbeaten in the league and build from it.
Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Paul's been fantastic, as you always do. It's always difficult when we lose to come up here. So I'm going to ask our match sponsors now to get on kids. So if many of you want to come up for this present match day food, where is it, please? Right there. Okay. There you go. Get that in there. Shake your hands. Very nice. Smile then. Yeah. Thank you very much for another jar of kids. And if we can have, let's just a lot of names, second one, isn't it? FA Clover and Son, James, coming up, who's coming up? Whoever you want. It's your first game today, wouldn't it? Oh dear, never mind. I did want you to, what's your name again? Henry. Come on, Henry, shut the cup. I did want Henry, you can smile at the folks, so shake hands, that's it. I think this is his first game today. I said this is the start of a lifetime of pain. And it's going to be tough. And you're not always going to see the team win, but we are always going to be your team for the rest of your life, aren't we, Ange?
I guess so.
Oh, well, so, when are you coming back next time then?
Maybe.
Or maybe next weekend? Is he coming back next weekend? Yeah, here we go. That's it. Thank you for life. Thank you, H. Thank you very much for all that. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together one more.